Hey, what's up? This is Know Nothings Podcast with me, Mike.
And Ray. What's happening, guys?
I found the squatty bottles.
I know, those are my favorite.
Those are awesome. Man, I can down these.
They stay cold the whole time. The 16-ounce can, the big fat can's is a little too much. I'd say maybe 4 ounces too much if you really want a cold beer all the way through.
If you want it cold all the way through. The other thing is it tastes different in the bottle.
It does.
It tastes way different to me in the bottle. It tastes way better. I don't know. I just really enjoy this beer.
I don't know how they're going to be sitting on the desk over there, though.
They're fine.
Yeah, they're going to be okay?
Yeah, they'll be all right. I'm going to drink them real fast.
What's been going on today? Been busy?
No, just work. Work and stuff.
Just work and stuff?
Yeah.
Nothing exciting?
Nothing exciting. Except, if you can call solving problems all day exciting.
Yeah, I guess it keeps you busy. Makes the day go by. It's already almost 8 o'clock.
Well, I heard you had something exciting happen at practice.
Yeah, so I'm coaching these. I'm coaching third and fourth graders. If you, and I don't know if you've ever coached third and fourth graders, but it's an interesting thing. So we're coaching in football and doing the sprints the other day. We're like in the early part of the season. We have our first jamboree tomorrow morning, very early, 30 miles away at 8 a.m. So the kids got to get there at 7:15. But anyway, we run sprints, and I was like, "Hey guys," I was like, so we're on like the last sprint. I was like, I'll go run it with them, so they can see like their coach is involved. I mean,
First mistake.
I stay in shape and I exercise. I'm like, whatever. And there's just a little 20-yard sprint. So I get out there. I was like, I'll probably just jog hard and probably be at the front of the line of these kids. So I take off. Well, a couple kids are really fast. This kid just boom shoots out like a cannon. I was like, oh gosh. So I get to like the 15 yards. Like, oh man, I'm going to lose to a little kid. So I start getting after it. When we get past the finish line, the fastest kid on the team keeps going. I'm like, oh okay, this is what we're doing. I'll even look at it. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. And I start going. And he starts going. I'm like, oh. And he gets to the 50. He doesn't let up. I'm like, oh, my God. He keeps going. We get 70 yards on the field. My hamstring goes. All the tendons in my knees start pulling. This little joker ran all the way through the back of the end zone, like 120 yards, like the hills down there. So now my knee's all messed up, and I can't squat, and I can't deadlift.
Oh, no.
I can't do extensions. I can't do anything that involves a knee. Can't do lunges. Basically, I can only do things with my right leg right now.
Oh, no.
Both inside of my thighs pulled, like the muscles. Like, if you're 45 and you're not used to sprinting, and I didn't think I'd have to sprint.
I was going to say, like, you don't kind of stretch out before practice because you just stand there and tell them what to do?
I'd actually just come from the gym, so, I just worked out.
Oh, so yeah.
So I was loose, but I'm just thinking, they're third and fourth graders, I can just jog. But I couldn't just jog this one kid, or he'd have beat me. He still ended up beating me because I pulled the hammy,
That's crazy, man.
But yeah, so
that is pretty fun.
That happened, but that's fun. It's good. It's fun. It's going to be a good season. Hopefully, I'll report back how we do tomorrow. I guess we're going to podcast Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to Whiskey Myers after the game. Going to Mississippi to see Whiskey Myers.
Nice.
Hopefully no one catches COVID. Last time I drove to Jackson, Mississippi to see him. I got there, I pull in the parking lot. I was like, "Oh, this is badass! I'm the first car at the amphitheater."
Your National Lampoon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
First one's here. We're gonna park in the back. You're running they're doing the thing at the end. I
literally pulled up to the gate at like this 15,000 seater, and I was the only car. I was like, "How cool is this?"
How cool.
And then as I'm sitting in my car, I get a tweet that's like, "Sorry fans, we're gonna have to cancel tonight's show." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So
you were the last to know.
I was the last.
You were the last.
They had tweeted it like an hour and a half before.
Yeah.
But I was on the road. I wasn't on Twitter. I was driving. So I didn't get the news till I had arrived.
You got there.
That's okay.
First one's here.
I got a nice sandwich in Jackson. So
you drove to Jackson first.
So I told my buddies we met up. We had a sandwich. They had a couple beers, and I was like, well, I guess they're like, we're gonna head home. I was like, they had to head back to Baton Rouge.
Oh wow.
They were like. I was like, yeah, we just all drove to Jackson. I was like, well, we saw each other for 30 minutes, got a sandwich,
Sometimes that's cool to do.
Yeah, I would prefer to get the music we paid for, but now I get something to do tomorrow, but tomorrow's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
8 a.m. game, 7 p.m. concert.
Oh.
Drive back after the concert.
You're driving back?
Oh, yeah, 2 hours.
Brutal.
Shoot, me and Cameron went to Dallas last week, saw Black Label Society, and Anthrax and Hatebreed, and Anthrax was supposed to play, and they got COVID. And they didn't play. So Black Label just extended their set like 30 minutes. Hatebreed could only extend like 15 because, you're a hardcore band. An hour's already like, they're dying.
Yeah.
They're dying. I mean, they're up there, oh, destroy everything. Destroy it. Like, that takes its toll. You know?
Yeah. So, I'm sure the drummer, after playing for so long, but I guess after, how old are those guys too? That's the
Hatebreed's probably close to our age.
Yeah, so
not whippersnappers. They were on their 20th. It was Anthrax's 40th year anniversary tour, and it was Hatebreed's 20th anniversary tour.
Drumming like that and playing like that, usually every decade that you're together, you get a little slower and you get a little, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
But just to keep, to chill out a little bit.
Yeah, but you're playing. I mean, Hatebreed. There's no ballad in the Hatebreed set.
It.
Yeah,
you have to bring it.
Yeah, you have to
bring it for an hour, and then everybody's icing down backstage.
That's why their extra set was like 2 songs, but Black Label gave us like 5 extra songs, which was cool because I actually like Black Label more than Anthrax. But I would have liked to see Anthrax again. But good. It's been a good couple weeks of getting to see some live music. I hadn't been in a while. So 2 shows. The last 2 shows I went to. One got completely canceled because of COVID, and then Anthrax didn't say why they canceled. They just said medical reasons, which could only mean COVID or monkeypox.
Oh, yeah? You think they got the monkeypox?
I don't know if they got the monkeypox. I doubt it. What else could it be?
I don't know. Maybe one of them stubbed their toe or something.
So hopefully this will be the last weekend before AMC goes crazy.
Yeah, it's ready to talk about this. We're going for it.
Let's jump in.
Let's talk about AMC and the dividend.
Any apes out there? What is good? So I think everyone knew that this week it was going to get smashed down, right? Like 1781 after hours.
I said it.
We were what, 25, 2480, something like that earlier this week.
Yeah,
you and I both said.
I said it. They're gonna push it way down once I understood like what they were gonna do. Rarely am I right about these things. I am not a financial advisor.
I'm usually right when I'm usually right when I say it's going to go down. I'm fixing to lose money. Yeah. That usually happens. But if I'm like, oh yeah, this is the week we go. I'm done doing. I don't do that anymore. So last year I was like, oh yeah, this is the week. It's March. It's July. There are all these different. Yeah, this is happening. I don't even care anymore.
I don't care anymore. I don't even watch any. I don't watch anybody anymore.
I still am bullish.
I just
super bullish on AMC. I still am, but I just don't. A timeline just seems like now. If this ape dividend, if this doesn't do it, then what? What's next?
I don't know. I think that like
they have to cover.
A lot of people say they have to cover
at some point, right?
A lot of people say that like this is dilution somehow, but it's not because I just don't see how it could be, except for the fact that they're halving the price from AMC.
Yeah, but don't you think
while pushing it somewhere else,
don't
right?
You think
I don't know anything. Like I followed the dream and was like, I'm going to buy this because everybody's saying that it's going to short squeeze to $100K a share, and it was just like, so I'm just buying the dream, and I'm holding or I'm hodling. So I mean that's where I'm at.
Where are you at on the $100,000 thesis?
I think 100K is ridiculous. Not mathematically it's not, but I don't think anybody in their right mind would hold it after they have like a couple $1 million to say it goes up to $5K a share. Who's not going to sell at that point?
I think I would hold.
Really?
Yeah, and I think there's people as stupid as me too. I think the apes are crazy. I think the apes are crazy.
I think
apes are unhinged.
I'm just saying, you hold till 100K. Is everybody going to get it 100K? I don't know.
It depends how it's running. Maybe you say, I don't know.
Man, we're going to get some hate thrown at us like we're shills or something.
Yeah.
I didn't be saying that.
No, I mean, we're just saying what we say.
I'm just saying what I say. This
is you and I talking. That's how you and I would talk. Like, I don't know if I would hold to 100,000, but if the trajectory looked like 100,000, I'm a gambler enough to.
Well, why don't you sell some and then hold some for the 100,000?
Well, because every time you sell, you give hedgies back ammunition.
And if everybody did that, then that wouldn't be the point of holding.
That's part of the thesis. Like, if
I'm holding until I'm holding till the end. I'm diamond hands all the way.
I don't know if the end is $41.
I just don't think everybody's gonna hold until 100K. That's
no. But here's the deal: everybody wouldn't have to for it to reach 100,000, right? Why would everyone have to hold? Everyone doesn't. Let's say 10% hold. Let's say 5% hold. They may only be the ones that get 100,000. That's another reason it's mathematically possible. You don't go. It wouldn't be $100,000 a share times 516 million, which ends up with something like you can't even do it on the calculator.
You can't even do it on the calculator.
It ends up at like 5 trillion. Okay.
Yeah.
That's if every single person, and they're like, well, we don't have $5 trillion, but really we do. We could even make that happen. You could probably. The hedge funds have untold money.
How much money do you think they spent pushing it down yesterday when it was ridiculously pushed down?
Well, they borrowed 5 million shares, I think. So you can just do the math. $5 million, $100 million.
Yeah,
but that's for a day.
That's a day.
In a day, and they've done that how many times?
Oh, I would say more every day than not every day to keep it under wraps.
At least 3 times a week, they're spending that kind of money.
Yeah,
I think they lost several billion last week on the run up. Yeah. Several billion in just that week.
It's going to be very interesting Monday. I haven't gotten my ape shares yet.
I haven't gotten my ape shares either.
Well, I don't use Robinhood. I just popped this up here.
Yeah, Robinhood's got a good graph, and it doesn't show his share position or anything. His position or anything like so. So it is a good graph. But look at that. I mean, that's exactly what I thought would happen.
Yeah.
And what do you think's going to happen with the ape shares? The ape shares, if they're half the price of AMC. So
I don't know anything, but I'll just tell you what I think.
Yeah, that's what all I want to know. I don't know anything either. We know nothing.
I think when it halves Monday, so half that.
Yeah. So $8.95.
So when it goes, then they're going to push it down more, and then they're going to.
How are they going to push ape down? You think they're going to short ape?
Not ape, AMC.
They'll push.
This is in territory that I don't understand at all. Is like we're going to get ape shares, and then if AMC goes up, does the ape go up just because of like
no? Because
it's connected to it? Well, it has to. No, because it's the same company.
No, it's its own individual share though. It's its own individual entity. So people will buy and trade the ape share.
It sounds like we got messed up. It sounds like we got
probably
effed.
Did. Probably did. Probably.
But I mean, don't know.
My hope is
it sounds like we got effed.
My hope is that with the price of $8.95, maybe they try to push it down $1 or $2 and then start covering.
Well, I'm so addicted
to it. That's as low as they're going to get. They got it down. They pushed it down to what? $9 on us.
Yeah, nine something.
They got it down to 9 and didn't cover then. So that tells you like 9 ain't the spot.
I think it's like $1. I think it's like
well, they shorted it at 2.
At 2. My bad.
They shorted it at 2.
I know somebody's going to run through here and just give us all the numbers, and when we post it to our TikTok. We post it to our TikTok. Everybody's going to nail us with the numbers.
They can do it. They can say whatever they want. They started shorting it heavy at $2. That's fact. So, but everyone didn't short. They shorted it from 2 to 8. There was a lot of shorting going on. That's where they got caught in the trap, about in that 2 to 8 range in 2020, right? No, was it 2020 or 2021? 2021. January of 2021.
Do you think Adam Aaron's really on our side?
You know, I don't think any CEOs or politicians are on our side. Like, ultimately, like at the end of it all, like I think there's like us, and like some of them are kind of on our side, or some of them are better people than others, but I still think it's the club that they're in that we're not in. And we're not only are we not in the club, they don't want me in the club. They don't want me around
most
the club.
Definitely.
They don't want to smell me. They don't want to look at me. Like I'm not in the club, right? Even if we got $10 million, that ain't enough to be in the club. The club. So I want to think that Adam Aaron's on our side.
I just had an epiphany. What if the 50 Cent song about him being in the club is him being in that club? You can find me in the club. That's because he made all that money, and now he's in the club.
Maybe he was in the Illuminati.
Maybe.
I mean, the Illuminati's.
It's like a double entendre.
The Island Boys are saying they sold their soul.
Oh, good job.
That's how they broke. Now he's regretting it. But he said he made a video yesterday that said he was going to sell his soul again because his fame.
Again, he can sell it. You can sell it twice.
I guess if you're Kodiak Red, I guess you can. I guess he thinks you can.
Twice.
He looked like he was about to cry.
What happens when you sell it twice?
He said he's going to sell it again. He said he sold his soul, and then I'm an Island Boy blew up like a week later. He'd get dreams and visions, and then boom. And then he said he had no idea what it was going to be. It's just this unrehearsed song that blew up after he sold his soul. And he said now that his career is kind of on a, he didn't say that, but that's basically what he was saying. Now that my career is on a downward trajectory, he's like, I'm going to sell my soul again. And he's like, something else is huge is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to have something else massive like that.
But what? But he doesn't have 2 souls to sell. He's got
I agree.
1.
Maybe he's going to sell.
I think it's all bullshit.
I think the selling your soul is probably bullshit, but I don't think the Illuminati is bullshit.
No, do you think that selling your soul is a metaphor
For the Illuminati.
But what is he has? So what do they want? They want influence. So they have people sell their souls to the Illuminati for influence, because when you're like a Kanye West or somebody that has all that influence, you can push their agenda on everybody.
So the trade-off is you get the fame and money, but you have to pay me back. Okay, that payback could be your mom dies, you have to molest a child on camera, or your best friend gets killed in a car wreck. Something terrible will happen in exchange for the soul. That's the deal. And they keep that. They're supposedly, they'll keep whatever you've done as black.
Is that like what happened, like R. Kelly, like with the P video?
Correct.
Yeah.
All these, everybody. If you think about anybody that gets, that gets that kind of fame, something, not even because it's not 100% attached to the Illuminati, but a large majority of those people, something wild happens. Right. To their life that derails the whole thing. So they
what about like Kurt Cobain?
Yeah, great example.
So like he that's a great example. So who got off of who got, was it
his price to pay was himself? Yeah, sometimes it's yourself.
But if he didn't, what if Courtney or Dave Grohl? Sorry, everybody. Courtney or Dave Grohl
definitely wasn't Dave Grohl.
Definitely wasn't Dave Grohl. But then they became the biggest. They became the biggest rock stars on the planet.
Yeah. But sometimes I think that it happens by happenstance. Like sometimes I think a band or an actor is legitimately good. They have nothing to do with the Illuminati.
I don't know. When you're forced up on that high of a pedestal, there's people behind you.
There's people behind it.
And they want something. And then Taylor Hawkins died.
Yep.
Drug overdose. Sounds a lot like Illuminati shit to me.
It does. A lot.
Maybe they weren't going along with the plan.
That's Chester Bennington and and Chris Cornell. They weren't really going along with.
I always hear, like, I don't know if this is true or not, but you hear inklings and you on the internet, you're on like Reddit and all this stuff, where it always like comes down to like with the Chris Cornell and the Chester thing. It's like they were gonna speak out against like human trafficking and all that kind of stuff like that, and then dead. Same thing. Who was just in a car accident? Was it that
actress? Anne Heche, yeah.
She was in a car accident and died, and she has a documentary coming out about human trafficking, and it's still coming out.
That stuff's weird, right?
But it might not. But remember when one of the Coreys, was it Feldman?
Feldman.
He was gonna
make a documentary.
He's gonna make a documentary and name names, and he went on TV, he said all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, shut down. Yeah. And he was like, I'm not going to do that.
They made him a fool. They're like, this guy's an idiot. Of course, you saw his band, huh?
We gotta.
Oh yeah, pull his band up.
We gotta do it.
He's on.
You gotta do it.
He's trying to say now that
it's a goof. Is he trying to say it's a goof?
No, he's trying to say that. I can't remember. He said Pantera, some major band. He said Marilyn Manson. He said Marilyn Manson sabotaged his tour by setting him up with non-musicians on purpose, who were purposely bad to make his tour.
No,
derail.
It's all bad. He's all bad. Did they set him up and tell him to do that dance and do? Like,
I don't know.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know if Manson had anything to do with it, but Feldman has legit come out and said my tour derailed and had to be canceled because Marilyn Manson gave me bad musicians.
Oh my gosh!
And it's like, well, you didn't know they were. You didn't try to see. Here we go. If you haven't seen this, this is only Mike's. Yeah, turn it up. Let's rock out. Show this. You guys are gonna love this. This is Corey Feldman's band. These are the musicians that he didn't think that weren't real musicians, and he was pissed. And apparently Marilyn Manson somehow got them for him.
Well, it does kind of sound Manson-esque right there.
I think Manson was just if Manson was like, yeah, listen, girls.
Hit the club. Tell him.
Broken down and make a sound. Don't notice them. They check your life again. Make you beg for mercy, still nobody notice them. Just when you think it's all over, no hope in life, so what you gonna do? Every shot flies from exposure. So what have you got to do? let's go. There is things in the sky, no goal that's too high. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach the top.
This is what we got. We're not gonna kill you, but you gotta
The lies they tarnish you, try to abolish you. Spin your good deeds until they become bad news. They match your name with shame. They point your life and you get no.
it's gotta stay.
Yeah, it's got to stay in the background. Just leave it there the whole show.
We're just
leave it on a loop.
Just loop it.
Dude,
Loop that.
his tour has...
Oh my God.
Well, was he the one that had 3 Spotify listeners? No, that was Steven Seagal.
Huh, I don't, what?
Remember we were doing the Spotify list? It was Steven Seagal.
Oh yeah,
that had
Steven
3.
Seagal, he had 3.
He had 3.
He's doing
Corey
good.
Feldman has... His tour has like 2 people and a sound guy at every show. When it pops up online, they're like...
Well, I'm sure that they're playing an iPod right there. An old school one too.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're not even anybody's phone. It's an old school iPod that Corey brought, and it has all the stuff already on it. Look, she's playing it through the computer.
Here comes the rap. Here comes
She's playing it through the computer.
the rapper's coming out.
Rap part?
Yeah, there's a rap part.
No,
Get the
there's not. This is terrible.
Get the volume on for the rap.
God, I can't
Yeah.
believe I'm missing this.
Cause all she wanna do
Shit tonight, the club.
you see this they show me love, let's just get it. Cause all she wanna do is work. All he wanna do is work. Now just watch Feldman twerk. All we wanna do is party, get your hands up in the air, wave them high side to side. Now just let the doctor hear. You say get it.
It's
Come
actually
on now,
bad.
get
It's
it.
pretty
Say
bad.
it with me,
It's
get
better than
it.
that.
Yo, Feldman, go for it. Woo!
So
Go
yeah.
for it.
So they.
No, okay, look, the rap wasn't bad. It was good. It wasn't good,
So
but
you
it wasn't
might be
bad.
onto something. His contract with the Illuminati, that might be his humiliation ritual.
And this is his humiliation ritual before he goes into before he looks like a
Can you imagine?
he looks like a demented Michael Jackson.
Well, you know he worships Michael Jackson. He worships Michael Jackson. So,
Look at this coming out in this the hood. Okay, all of this is probably all of this has symbolism.
I can't believe this happened
to
in
the
real life.
Illuminati. This
And
is
I
crazy.
can't believe he got this. I cannot believe he got this and said, "I'm going on tour. I'm going to do 100 shows."
Oh my
He only
god!
made, I think it was like 4 before they like ran out of money.
Look at him dancing around like that. What is he doing? What is he doing? What is that?
He's going for it.
He's going for it. Oh my gosh!
But aside from
Is he
his,
playing basketball over there?
aside from his act
that's
not being good, I think he was probably onto something with his documentary.
Yeah. Well, you know the stories.
Oh yeah, and that Corey Haim,
Corey Feldman at parties. When they were-
Charlie Sheen
Yeah.
molesting him.
Yeah, and all that. Everybody.
You never
Supposedly.
You never allegedly. You never know what to believe, but you know the thing about you
We're gonna get suicided.
going back to whatever. Things are gonna happen when they
It's
happen,
gonna
right?
happen. Hey, maybe we'll get one of those contracts.
Maybe.
Hey, if you see our next episode has 5 million people watching, then
would you
know
do
what
it?
happened.
Would you do it? Would you?
No.
I wouldn't either. No,
No,
way.
I'm fine.
Me too. I'm fine.
I played in a band and toured and did all that, and it was like I got like my 15 minutes was cool. I mean, played in front of 20,000 people. It was great. That was fine. Do it now? Hell no.
I'm saying,
I don't even.
I'm not talking about to be in a band. I'm talking about the Illuminati approaches you, Mike. We'll make this podcast have 50 million subscribers.
No.
We'll make you the richest podcaster
It's
in
too
the world.
much heat. It's
Yeah.
too much heat.
I
Man.
wouldn't either. No way.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I just like talking to you. And on our TikTok, some guy was like, "Who are the 5 people that listen to this podcast?" And I was just like, "Thanks for listening. You're one of them."
Yeah. That's supposed. I mean,
I don't
it was
care.
actually 1800, sir.
It was
but,
actually 1800, but yeah, 1800.
But I think with Cobain being, Cobain also. He was also in the 27 Club, and think about the people in the 27 Club.
That's
and
right.
And who's the first person in the 27 Club?
Jimi Hendrix?
No,
Let me guess. Janis Joplin.
no, way before that.
Really? Elvis?
No, way before that.
No, he got old.
Robert Johnson,
Oh, Robert
the
Johnson.
blues master.
Now he sold his soul on the crossroads.
That's what I was going to lead to. So Robert Johnson.
Now, just as a goof, I would probably go do that just so I could like play
I
the
wanted
guitar
to,
like there were three hands
I
on
drove
the
through the
guitar.
crossroads the other day, and I wanted to stop.
You
I was like,
did?
I need to find
You
it and stop.
stop.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
I'm going to go next time.
Let's
I'm going
go.
that way.
Let's go and film it and then post it.
We should do that.
We should do that.
We'll go to the crossroads.
I'll bring my guitar.
Do you know how?
Or one of them.
You know how Robert Johnson died, right? Hitting on this girl in the bar.
Got hit by a train.
No, he's hitting on this girl in the bar. She was married, and her husband poisoned his whiskey.
Oh, really?
So he drank poisoned whiskey
Oh my gosh.
and died later that night.
Oh man, that
he
that was probably painful.
He probably sucked, but he was the first member of the 27 Club.
Hey, those songs are creepy.
They're great though.
They're great, but when you think about it like that, like is that because like sometimes he's playing the guitar and it doesn't. It sounds like there's like two hands going at once.
Well, get this.
It's really odd.
So when Robert Johnson was 25, he could not even play 3 chords. Everyone in town said, "This kid's terrible, right? He can't play." He leaves, goes to the crossroads, sells his soul, right? Or whatever happened. But whatever happened, they said he returned to town like 14 months later and was a prodigy.
Incredible.
And he'd been playing his whole life, but they said he was just a nickel and dimer, not good, not even close to good. These are like eyewitness accounts I've seen interviews of, and they're like, this dude came back and there was no one in the Delta, even in his stratosphere.
It would be totally. My camera's gone. My camera is. Okay, anyway, it would totally be wasted on me. I would like sell my soul. I'd be like, yeah, I want to like sell my soul for blues fame or whatever. And then like I would get it, and then I would just play in my bedroom and be like, damn, I'm awesome. And never.
That's not how it works though. The Illuminati,
They want it. They want you out there.
they're not going to let you do that. You're going to get, you talk about getting suicided. Try that move. Try to sell your soul. And
We need to go. We need to go and do like a little. We need to go do like a little film thing out there.
If you think of the people that say they sold their soul,
I'm gonna try and fix my camera. You keep going.
You think of the people that say they sold their soul.
Well, Eminem said it. Everybody says it in all their songs.
I'm not, but people that Sabbath said it. But look, the fame of the people that have the fame these people achieve that allege that, it kind of makes you connect dots, right?
Right.
Like because it's not like it's not like anyone achieves mediocre fame and then claims that. It's always off the charts, unheard of success. You know what I mean? It's a.
It is. Well, I mean, hold on 1 second. Let's see what this does. Man, that Corey Feldman thing. That is brutal. And he's in one of my favorite movies of all time, The Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys is incredible. He's also in Stand By Me, right? Wasn't he in Stand By Me? Yes. That's
okay.
one of my.
I can't fix it. I've got to buy a new camera.
Just do widescreen.
Yeah,
it's fine. I mean, when you're talking, go to widescreen. It's fine. I would think it's fine. It's fine for today. It's what we got.
Oh,
right
whoa! Look at that. The whole room. Oh, hey!
With the thing in the back. The green screen.
That's kind of neat. There's the green screen.
Yeah, is that the best we can do with that?
No, I can fix that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay, that's all we need. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Illuminati. Illuminati's out there. I don't know about the selling your soul thing. Like with Sabbath stories was different. They didn't like directly sell their soul. They got a book of black magic. So Geezer brought over a book of black magic. You know the story?
Tell it.
So Geezer brings a book over to Ozzy's house with black magic, right? And he's like, oh, what is this? And they were all into that shit anyway. They're like into the occult and into like, you know, seances and Ouija boards and all that kind of stuff. He's like, oh, I've got this book of black magic. So weird trying to talk to you and you're not looking at me.
Sorry. I know. It's showbiz, baby.
So I've got this.
I'm like.
So they've got this book of black magic, and they bring it and they start going through. And they're like, so as they're reading through it, they start getting weirded out. And he's like, I was just like, I don't like this. This is freaking me out. So they take the book and throw it in the fireplace and burn it.
Uh-oh.
They take the black magic book. Ozzy throws it in the fireplace. Like,
I would think that would be a bad move.
Well, listen, they said, fuck. So they go to bed. Wake up the next day. Geezer's like, oh my God. He's like, hey, I had this. He's like, I had this crazy dream after. He's like, I guess it had something to do with reading that book or whatever. And he's like, oh, really? He's like, what was your dream? And he's like, well, there was just like this big black shape at the end of my bed, pointing at me, which is, of course, as we know, that's the title track, Black Sabbath. Big black shape with eyes. Big black shape. He's like this big black shape with eyes of fire pointing at my bed, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "Oh shit, that'd be a cool song. Like, write down your dream thoughts."
That'd be a cool song.
This is the song Black Sabbath. So then anyway, they're like, "Oh, they go on about their day." I don't know what else they do that day. It's 52 years ago. The story gets clouded, but they go on about their day. Well, later that day, they go and open the pantry. What's in the pantry? The fucking book of black magic. All the way completely together, no burn marks, no rips. They said they watched it burn to embers in the fireplace. The next day, they went to bed, had a dream about the song Black Sabbath. The next day, the Black Magic book was all the way together. And then the next 4 albums wrote themselves from start to finish. They said they got in a room, and there was a 5th member in the room. And
what?
They said they got in a room. You can go watch 1,000,000 hours of interviews and this shit. They said we got in a room and we would be like, nothing written, nothing down. It would be boom, song 1 done, song 2 done, song 3 done. They said the most magical, and we were looking every time we'd finish a song, we were like, oh my God, it's the greatest song ever written.
Oh,
and then
wow.
And then we'd do it again and go, oh my God. And then we did it again, and they completed the entire debut album in 13 hours.
Oh my God.
Counting studio time.
Really? Just banged them out.
And then
who was the other member?
Tony Iommi and Bill Ward. Who's the other member? The 5th member?
Yeah.
Lucifer.
Lucifer was in the room.
The 5th member.
Well, maybe like a cool demon. Maybe not Lucifer himself, right?
No, they pretty much believe it was.
See, this is the shit why I wasn't allowed to listen to this music when we were church thumping back when I was a kid.
They won't say. It weirds them out. Now you can tell that they're
weirded out.
Even since they've been about 40.
How cool is that?
When they talk, they're like, I don't know who the 5th member is. They're like, I'm just telling you, we had been writing music for 3 years and had like a song and a half, and then that day, we all of a sudden were Black Sabbath, and it was like we're the best band in the world.
Did he have a fiddle with him?
He had nothing. They never saw him. But
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. But there was a presence of something, and they're like presence, and they said the songs were writing themselves. Like they'd be, hey, what are we writing? Well, this song's called NIB. Lyrics done. Ozzy, come up with a melody done.
Done and awesome.
And killer.
That just like set the tone for every rock band ever.
Like Tony's like, what do y'all think about this riff? And it's Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And then they did the same thing, the same process with the album Paranoid, which has Paranoid, War Pigs, Iron Man, Luke's Wall. That album, #1 album. The next album, 6 months later, and it was the same deal, 5th member.
Boom.
The first 4 albums, they say, were absolutely written with a 5th member, and it was absolutely flawless, and they said they couldn't fuck up.
Wow.
Pretty incredible.
That's awesome. That is odd.
Now, some of the songs were to be fair to the story, some of the songs would have been worked out live because they'd been playing live and gigging all the time. Like, I mean, they were doing the same kind of stuff the Beatles were doing.
But isn't that just a cool story if you want to tell it?
It's a great story.
I mean, like if you make it up. You get these songs and you write them and they're amazing, and then you're like, there was a 5th member in the room and it was Satan.
Yeah, but it was so many songs.
But it's just so the Foo Fighters have a shit ton of songs that are amazing.
They do.
I mean, was there a 5th member?
I don't know, but was there a book that got burned and then reappeared in a pantry?
Was there?
I don't know.
We don't know. Maybe they bought 2.
Unless they've all been lying for 53 years. Well,
why not? It's show business, man.
They only started telling the story like 20 years after they were mega famous. They weren't telling it as part of their rise to mega. They weren't.
So you're telling me they had 20 years to think of this cool story?
Possibly.
And it's a cool story.
It is.
I would love to believe it because that's neat. But then it also terrifies me.
But it's impossible for a book to be burned and put back together, right? Now, here's
well, I wasn't there.
Well, here's the devil's advocate, if you will. So here's the devil's advocate.
I'm throwing devil's advocate at you right now.
Yeah.
No pun intended, 5th member.
The other devil's advocate is this. Look, all those guys like to fuck with each other. Okay, they all like to fuck with each other, and it's possible that somebody just put a book of black magic, got an
another
exact
one,
book, another one, and put it in there.
two.
They said number 2, those guys are some of the best musicians on earth. So it's not unusual.
They really are to get in a room and write.
So it's not like they didn't need a 5th member.
It's a really cool story.
It's a great story, but they're just really good.
I will tell you this: when you get a group of guys together, and it's hard to do because I've only done it. Well, I've done it. I want to say twice.
Yeah.
My first band, I thought like when I was a kid, I was 16, 17. A couple of us got together and we wrote our own songs and played them, and I'll play them to people to this day, and they'll say, "Wow, those are great songs."
Yeah.
You know, the lead singer needs a little help, but we were kids, obviously.
Was this Built for Speed?
No, I wasn't in Built for Speed.
You weren't in.
I was
you
in
were
the band
never,
before Built for Speed.
Okay, you were.
It was
before.
Ashley 17.
Ashley,
and before that, it was Gold Leader.
I liked Ashley 17 a lot. Y'all were fun.
Gold Leader we played in churches.
I don't remember Gold Leader at all
because we were at a church
I never
band
went.
and we played like rock music in churches, and then we were like, we need to take it to the streets.
Yeah.
And you know,
Ashley 17 had to be much better than the church. That was a good band.
Oh yeah, Ashley 17. We wrote great music, and the singing was good. And then Jonathan went on to be in Built for Speed, and then his singing got great,
which I really like. I like Built for Speed a lot. Anthem's a great song.
Yeah, but so like when we were in a room together writing songs, it was great. But in KWB, in 1000 Watt Bitch, the first day, I had never met those guys before. I drove all the way from Georgia to Shreveport. I carried my stuff up into an attic in this room. Sean walked in, and like you said, I just started playing the guitar, and we wrote 3 songs right there that were bangers.
Yeah.
I mean, it just happened.
So it can. That's
the energy in the room. Like Sean walked in. I didn't know who Sean was. Everybody was like, oh, you know, because he was like in Seed and all these other bands. I didn't even know who he was. He walked in the room. I just started hammering on that 7-string guitar, and everybody started playing, and I just wrote 3 songs right there and then and there, and Sean sang them, and that was the songs. Boom, done.
Exactly. So that's probably the true story.
Yeah.
The true story is probably the Devil's Advocate story.
The energy in the room is awesome.
I do believe the book probably appeared because they all swear by it too much, and I've heard the story for too long. But I just think I think like a manager or like a roadie, a drunk friend, a high friend, somebody's like, oh, watch this.
Messed with him.
Well, they could see how much it was getting to Ozzy, because Ozzy was like really bothered by the thing. Like, oh, this is weirding me out. Like, let's get rid of it. And they're like, oh, hell no, I'm going to get the bookstore. I'm going to buy another black magic book and just put it right up here. It'll freak them out.
The thing also about black magic books or any kind of magic book, I don't know, like back then and even now, it's like, where'd you get that? Barnes & Noble? You know, your black magic book? You know what I mean? You just go to any store and get a published black magic or magic book. Real magic books aren't published. I mean, I'm sure maybe some like, no.
Like Aleister Crowley, all his stuff's published, right?
Well, yeah.
And the Satanic Bible,
well, the Satanic Bible,
published.
It's published, but it's not really. It's a kind of like a.
It's not a.
Have you ever read the Satanic Bible?
Yeah.
Me too. It kind of reads like a corporate handbook, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you know
it's like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do for me.
But I hate to say that, but I really align with the 7 tenets of Satanism. And if you see the 7 tenets,
I know it's and
if you saw, and that's
like I said, it reads like a corporation handbook. Like, we're gonna do this to everyone.
If you put the 7 tenets of Satanism up there, you'd go, well, yeah,
oh yeah,
that makes sense. Like, don't harm little kids, don't hurt women, like, be a good person. Like, it's really. It's not what you think it is at all. It's not at all what you think.
Whenever I tell people, like, oh yeah, I've read this. I've read Antoine LaVey's, the Satanic Bible. They're like, oh. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you read that?
Yeah.
Why would you not read it? If you're totally against it, why wouldn't you read it to see what the enemy's doing?
To see what?
It's called The Art of War. You want to know what your enemy's up to.
I've read the Bible cover to cover, the Satanic Bible. I've read not cover to cover,
which isn't really a Bible. It's like his thing, and then there's like some incantations in the back.
It's more it's more like how he wanted people.
I think there's like a real Satanic Bible that's real, but you can't get your hands on it. Like how are
internet? You get your hand on anything.
How are books written? Well, how are books written back in the day? Monks transcribed books all day long. They would look at a book and write in a book. Look at a book and copy it and copy it and copy it. Those are real books.
Those are real books.
You want to get a real magic book? You get one from
Just like if you want
that.
if you want to get a real Bible, you'd have to have all the chapters that they threw out hundreds of chapters. Oh, we don't like this. We don't like this. Change that word.
This book right here talks about women too much. We need to get rid of all the women's stuff.
Whatever needed to suit them. I've read the Quran.
You can read the Bible and totally know that it was edited by a bunch of dudes.
For sure.
When a woman gets her monthly visitor, she must go out into the woods for a week because we don't want to deal with that shit.
And when they tell stories about like the men being hung like horses and then they leaving their load on the floor and all, like only dudes are coming up with shit like that.
Only dudes are writing that.
Because if women even wrote the sexual graphic nature of the Bible, if they wrote the same subject matter, they wouldn't. I don't think they'd include like how big their schlongs were.
No, I don't.
The men did. With members like, I think it says members like donkeys. Is that what it says?
And then a massive donkey member. Yeah, something like that.
It's members with like and then you couldn't put your seed on the floor. Make sure your seed
don't drop it on the floor.
Very sinful.
Don't drop it while it's hot.
Don't get it on your feet.
Drop it while it's hot, baby. That is. You've read the Bible cover to cover.
Cover to cover.
Man, I've tried that. I skip around too much.
Cover to cover, start to finish.
I've read Revelation all the way through because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great storytelling.
Oh, I just watched what is that movie with Seth Rogen and all that? I watched that today. It was it's the end of the This Is the End. I watched that. Have you ever seen that?
No.
You should watch that. No spoilers. I won't talk about it.
This is the end?
This is the end. It's like Seth Rogen and all of them playing themselves in Hollywood, and then like they're having a party and boom, the rapture happens, and then like
oh really?
Yeah, and then like comedy happens, but it's not really comedy. It's kind of
dark comedy.
It's kind of dark.
I like dark comedy.
It's good. You would like it.
I know I would like it.
It's really good. I'd watch it again.
I need to read the Quran cover to cover, but I just haven't made the time.
Gosh, I know.
I'm sure it's just a lot like the Bible.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. I've never
just a different dude.
I've never read that. I should have. I've read a lot.
I've read enough to understand it.
I've read a lot of like the Buddhism.
I've read
books.
tenets of Buddhism, kind of like tenets of Satanism, and like understand it a little bit, but I haven't like.
Buddhism's hard.
Is it hard? I don't think so.
There's no forgiveness. You mess up and you messed up. You got to wait till your next life. I mean, there's a couple different offshoots of it too, and
but you don't
get me if I'm wrong.
But you don't have to live a perfect life.
Yeah.
It's not even. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be right. Like you just kind of get it right.
Well, there are certain rules.
I mean, if it's got to be perfect, we're all screwed forever.
Well, no, it's because there's a part of Buddhism where there's like a different part of it where it's like reincarnation. So if like you don't get it, you come back as like a bird, and then you get killed by a hawk, and then you come back as something higher than that, then you come back as something higher than that,
right?
And then you become a human again, and hopefully when you become a human,
you don't ever come human to human. What if you got if you got close to getting it right? Do you come human to human?
Maybe. I don't know. It like this is 10 years ago, and me just riding around in a truck listening songs.
You dug into that at all?
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that.
That's the wackiest one.
I love that.
That's the wackiest one of all.
I want to go in a room and scream in an ashtray for 10 hours, and then like when I don't make
for therapy.
Yeah. Like or you just talk and scream in an ashtray for hours on end.
Why do you think the Scientology has such a grasp on like the Hollywood community?
Brainwashing.
Well, yeah, it's all religion. It does
brainwashing.
But
well, they really brainwash you. Like you would sit in a room like me, and you would sit there, and they would say, "Don't smile or blink," and we would look at each other. We would be sitting knee to knee, and we would look, and we'd blink. Go fail, or you go. Don't have any emotion in your eyes, and we would look at each other. Fail. You just had like, and you would sit there and do that until you did it, and it could take days. Like, there's a really great. Have you watched the documentary Going Clear on that? No. Oh, you got to watch that. You got to watch Going Clear. It's awesome.
I'm in.
Now I'm like Scientology intrigues me.
It intrigues the shit out of me.
It's very intriguing because I do like L. Ron Hubbard. I like his books.
But you know that as for reality, it's insane,
it's
right?
insane. Okay, yeah, totally.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page.
No. You got to remember, like, when I get into conspiracy theory and stuff like that, this is a hobby for me. Yeah. And it was a hobby for me 10 years, 14 years ago. Huge hobby of mine, right? But then along with the internet and people talking to each other all the time, it was like, everybody got like really engrossed in it, and like I guess the crazies came out and like really hyper focused on it because people with like mental issues and stuff really latch on to like conspiracy theory stuff, a lot of them. But I was like in it because of like the entertainment factor I got. I read a lot. I like to learn about a lot of things, and that's one of the things that I just love.
Some conspiracy theories, like we've talked about, have validity.
They do have validity.
So the point that what I'm on a journey to do is figure out everything's not a conspiracy, but I'm intrigued by all of it. But where do you've got to figure out where's reality lie? Where's base reality in here?
There's so much information that we can access now that we can make anything a conspiracy. You can make anything a conspiracy.
Oh yeah, correct.
There's too much information to put together that doesn't even make, like, you would never have been able to put it together unless you could look it up.
Like Corey Feldman has created a conspiracy theory that Marilyn Manson's responsible for his poor music.
Exactly.
And Marilyn Manson, I think, is like, I don't even know this kid.
Yeah, or the bass player of this band knows him, and that's his link, and that's why he said that. You know what I mean? It's like minute, little, tiny things that you can piece together with information.
That is something like what it's something like this. Feldman like put out something online, like I need on like Instagram or something. I'm looking for female musicians willing to wear angel costumes. And I think Manson might have jokingly like, I can get you people to wear. I can get you people to wear angel costumes. He doesn't know what he's going to do or how much he wants to train them and how, or whatever. And I think maybe he sent him a couple. I think Manson might have either bass player or guitar player. He sent him a couple people.
So now that it sucks, he's just blaming him.
He said he's intentionally tried to sabotage me.
Well, maybe he did because he's in the Illuminati, and this is like you said. This is the shame.
Well,
this is the shame part before they give him the movie that brings his career back.
Well,
right?
let me ask you.
Unless he's so nuts he can't even do a movie anymore. Well, they're gonna stick him on Stranger Things.
Ponder this. Just ponder this. You take. I'm gonna build you a supergroup. Okay.
Oh, I love this.
Me too. Okay. And you tell me if you think this would be good, and I think it would be shitty. Let's go. Neil Peart on the drums. Okay. John Entwistle from The Who on bass.
All right.
Jimmy Page.
Wow, that was really out of left field.
Jimmy Page on guitar. And Corey Feldman as the singer. Is the band good or not? It's probably still shit because I don't think you could pull it off even with those guys, is my point.
I think it would be great.
With Feldman?
Yeah. I think it would be great.
Because they would just make it so magical?
Yeah. I think it would be great. I think... okay, look, we definitely know a lead singer can take a shit band and make it amazing. That was KWB. Amazing singer makes shit guitars. Me.
Yeah.
Sound great.
Yeah.
Right? All those guys with Corey Feldman being the singer, wouldn't that be such a spectacle of like amazing? You would be like, the music, and then him like doing something on top of it that just makes it like crazy artistic because it's so terrible, like whatever he's doing. Or he catches the vibe and it's like, yo, dude, what you're doing right here on this, the way you're sounding over that sounds amazing because music is like that.
So you think he's talented enough as a front man that if he had great musicians, he'd be good. This band would be good
as long as he brings this guy with him to rap.
See, I'm on the other side of the thesis.
I would just want to see it. I think I just want to see it.
I mean, of course, Neil Peart, John Entwistle, and Jimmy Page is going to make an incredible sound, right? Like that's going to be a great sound.
Then take this and throw Maynard in there, and then you would have a supergroup.
Yeah, you're making a legitimate supergroup.
That's a crazy supergroup.
What I was doing was making a supergroup, but Feldman had to front it.
Yeah, but see, Feldman, I think those guys are so good, and the music would be so great for us to hear that whatever he did on top of it would magically become all right.
Or yeah, there you go. Okay, I think it could be maybe all right because he'd have such magic around it.
Yeah.
So this is so incredible.
That's such a great idea. That needs to happen somehow. Not necessarily those guys, obviously, because but like you take a bunch of really great musicians, badasses, and throw Corey Feldman in front of him, see what happens. I mean, none of them would do egos and whatever. It would never happen with him. But it would just be like it would be an odd thing to see.
Is there such a band like that exists in your mind, where the musicians are incredible, but the singer's not, and the band's still good? I can't think of any.
No, I
The
can't.
singer has to be that.
The singer
dude.
has to be the guy. He's got to have the vibe. He's got to have the control. Welcome to my house tonight. You're all in my house.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody do this and that.
So
you
I
know,
think
and everybody's just like,
I think that kind of blows the theory up because there's bands all over the country with great musicians and a bad frontman that
I don't think
can't.
I've ever. Yeah, but Corey Feldman still is famous.
But on their level, he's not famous.
No, but he's still famous.
You think Jimmy Page knows who Corey Feldman is or cares?
No.
Probably not.
He don't know that.
I know.
No way.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
He may have caught Lost Boys one time, but he doesn't know his name.
No way. Yeah, he doesn't care. So he's not famous to him or to John Entwistle or Neil Peart.
I'd like to know if he knows who Corey Feldman is.
Call-
Maybe he
call
had sex
Jimmy.
with him at a party. Maybe he forced himself. I know it's terrible to laugh.
If Feldman would have been a 14-year-old girl, Jimmy Page would have been all over that.
Probably.
I'll tell you, he had one kidnapped and locked in
Oh
the
my
room.
God! What?
I never told you that.
No.
Yeah, Jimmy Page, Lori Maddox, a 14-year-old girl that Jimmy Page took as his girlfriend and kept as his girlfriend for like 10 months and would like take her to the gigs. He was scared she would run off and fuck other musicians, so he'd take her to the gig and lock her in the hotel. And then,
Huh?
oh yeah, Lori Maddox.
Wow. That was his girlfriend, or she was just under
She was
duress?
a 14-year-old girl. He was a 29-year-old man.
Oh no!
Man, this is the height of
14
Zeppelin.
and
This
she
is the
was
height of Led Zeppelin.
He was 30 and she was 14. That is gross.
Maybe older than 30. It's the height of
Ugh.
Led Zeppelin. So we're talking about. It's probably 72.
What's
74.
up with these dudes in music and their 14-year-old girlfriends?
They just, I think the girls obviously obsess over the guys. I think the guys get off on the adulation, and then they just like you. I think they like young girls. I think they had issues.
Man, I don't like young girls. I like older ladies.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about. I mean, you know, Jimmy Page also banged a girl with a shark, right?
No. Oh my gosh.
Off the hotel balcony, fishing for
Shark.
sharks.
Real sharks.
Real sharks. They caught it.
Where?
And
At the beach?
I'd have to Google that. They're staying in a 5-star resort at a hotel.
On the water.
On the water.
Okay.
You can fit. They're fishing off the balcony. Anyway, bottom line, they get a shark in the room, and Jimmy Page violates
There's
this girl
no
with a
way.
shark. Yeah,
Really?
They're like, yeah, their nose is like that big. It definitely will go in.
Oh man, that's terrible.
The girl has said, yeah, absolutely, Jimmy Page
Oh,
did that to
wow.
me with the shark.
No consent.
Yeah, I think there was consent.
There was consent.
There was consent.
Oh, okay. You made it sound like there wasn't consent.
No. There was consent, but I think it was like probably pressurized consent.
Well, it's Jimmy Page.
The 70s were wild, man.
I mean, I don't know.
They were having these.
I still wouldn't let Jimmy Page shove a shark up my butthole.
I love Jimmy Page, but he can't do that.
No, I'd rather hear him play guitar.
But I don't know why. Bill Wyman from the Rolling Stones, he married his wife. He was 52. She was 18. He'd been dating her for 5 years.
Oh.
So that means
What
he
is
started
that
dating her at
deal?
47. She was 13.
Oh my gosh. It's the kids.
Real kids, like
Real
definitely
kids.
Like Lori Maddox was 14. When you look up Lori Maddox from the 70s, when she was Jimmy Page's girlfriend, she looks like she should be on the playground.
I couldn't date somebody 6 years younger than me. They start talking about Yu-Gi-Oh or something. I just want to shoot myself.
What is Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, exactly.
What is that?
This is some kind of anime bullshit that like these kids like.
Yeah, anime skit. But that 6 years younger than you would be 30.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe 30 or whatever. Whatever the.
What do you think would be too young? 30?
Well, you know the rule. Half plus.
I don't have any rules. I don't live
The
by
rule
rules.
is half plus 7.
Except the rules of consent and it must be age appropriate.
Right.
Half plus what?
Half plus 7.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I do. I have.
At a certain age, it's half plus 7. Obviously, you can't be 20 and half. Well,
so
I guess you can legally in some states, 17. But like half plus 7.
So 29 for me, 27 for you.
So it's not It's not super creepy.
I'd go half plus. I'd have to go half plus 10.
Half plus 10's a good. That's a better conversationalist at night.
Yeah, half plus 10 just because you say Yu-Gi-Oh and I didn't even know what you're talking about.
Right.
But I think that would be like 28-year-olds, right?
Yu-Gi-Oh, I think.
Would that be
Somebody
like
correct
26?
me.
What would be the age group that would like Yu-Gi-Oh or know what that is?
Anybody that's in their 20s or like
I think I'd be
early
all
30s.
I think I'd be all out on the 20s. I couldn't.
I'm out of the 20s.
Out of the 20s.
Totally
and
out of the
the
20s.
low 30s is kind of drama. They can be a little dramatic.
I need him to be a little slower than that.
Yeah.
I want him to like be like, "Do you want to go out to the bar tonight?" No, maybe no. Who's
Kind of want them like, hey, could we go get Mexican and be back by 8?
Back by 8 in our jammies
Yeah.
and watch The Walking Dead, and then we go to bed.
Yeah, and like, probably need to go to sleep by 9:30 or 10 most nights. I hope you're good with that. If you're not good with that, you can stay up. But I'm gonna go to bed anyway, and you can't get mad about it.
And then
I don't get mad.
You know, I wonder like if the younger generation likes to do that too, because you got to remember when we were younger, we couldn't just hey. I want to watch this show that stream this show over and over. So to like younger kids, do they stay out? Or do they like to be at home streaming television shows?
I think they like to be at home. I think they like to be at home. I mean, I don't know. Girls, I don't know. I'm just not around a lot of 20-something girls.
So I don't know.
Maybe my sons have around
you gotta really have all this. Wait, what does your son like to do? Does he like to be at home and watch television? Does he like to? Well, they play in a band, so he's out playing in a band.
Play guitar. That's it.
They're in Morning Moon. They like to go play. And they're always playing.
Play guitar. But if he wasn't playing
That's
guitar,
different.
He'd probably if he didn't play in a band, he'd probably be out 2 nights a week and home 5.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend would probably the same. And they're
know.
mid early 20s.
Somebody that accidentally catches this podcast, tell me what 20-year-olds like to do. Do they like to stay at home? Because you got the Netflix and chill, which means Netflix and sex.
I think the club scene's got it. For me, well, I got married at 23, so like, but I think the club scene probably dies for people at what 25. It's got to be old by then, right?
I don't know. Depends.
I mean,
wouldn't it depend if you were married or you get married or you're just holding on? If
I was
you're,
single
let's
at
say
30 at the club,
let's say you're
depressing.
let's say you're top tier, you catch all kinds of puss.
Top tier male, okay.
Do you drag that out into your 30? I mean, maybe
30's a put. At 30 though, you got to be like, hey, I'm doing something else. By then, you've had all the sex you want to have. You've drank all the Jaeger. You've seen all the fights. Like,
or you catch the 10 and you marry the 10 at 25.
Do you marry the 10
in your
though?
prime?
Should you marry a 10? I think that's bad advice.
That's bad advice.
That's terrible advice. I would never do that.
No, that's awful. Trying to keep a hold of a 10.
10s aren't for marrying, even if you could get one.
10s are not for marrying.
Like most 99.9% of you, including me, have no chance of getting a 10.
Well, not now.
Not ever. You're not getting a 10. 10s don't even roam the earth, in my opinion. Like 10s are so rarefied air to me. Like people throw that around. I'm like,
are you talking about a Louisiana 10 or an LA 10? Because they're different 10s.
I think Louisiana 10 is hotter than an
region.
LA 10.
Well, I agree with you on
Louisiana's the finest women I've ever seen.
Louisiana
laid eyes
has
on.
fine women.
Louisiana is the finest women I've ever laid eyes on, including Texas, which is a close second.
My girlfriend is super fine.
And she's from Louisiana.
She's from Louisiana, New Orleans.
But I say,
Born in New Orleans, she's super fine.
So call it a Louisiana.
My girlfriend is super fine.
So call it a Louisiana 10 or a LA 10 or a Texas 10.
Texas.
I'd still say it's bad advice to marry it. Maybe try to land. If you can marry you a 7.5 to a 9, you've
Why is that, Ray?
too crazy at 10. They're too crazy. I mean, everyone knows.
Explain it.
I don't have to explain that crazy is, or
No, explain why not the 10.
If
I mean, I understand, but I know you can explain it well.
I hope I can explain it well. If someone and I would tell the girl the same thing. A guy that's a 10, you don't want. That's a fuck boy. That is a fuck boy.
Right.
A girl that's a 10, it's almost certain that it will never be enough. You are not going to be able to provide what she deems she deserves, and she probably does deserve. If she was blessed to be a 10, which 10s are so rare. You don't run into them every day. People think, if you think you're seeing a 10 every day, no way. Just walking around, and you don't see them at like 10s aren't at Kohl's. They're not at Target. You're not seeing a 10 at Target. Sorry. You're not running into them at the Waffle
They're not
House.
driving to work in the morning at 7 a.m.
You know where they're at? They're on yachts.
They're on yachts.
They're on yachts that you don't own.
Right.
And that's the reason you shouldn't fuck with them. Because the minute, even if you like, oh, you really vibe.
I got a yacht.
You really vibe with this 10.
No, I don't have a yacht.
You really vibe with this 10, and you're like, oh yeah, but she's different. Maybe, but you're not enough, bro. You're not good enough, and and it's the same thing with the. So
my girlfriend just texted me and said this 10 shops at a Target.
Oh, we have 110 that shops at Target. 110 that shops at a Target.
That's right.
But aside from Kylie,
She's listening in the other room.
Aside from Kylie and my wife,
Right.
like
Those 10 shop at Target.
But I'm talking about other 10s that you guys might have opportunities.
That's right. The ones that you're flipping through TikTok and you see them on like a yacht, and they're
even look. You could be. I'm just saying it. I think 10's like that's perfection. That's.
I don't think anybody's perfect.
Correct. That's why 10. There's a few of them. I'd say for the average dude, 8's about as good as you're gonna ever go, and that's pretty incredible.
8's good.
That's amazing.
My girlfriend is a 10 though.
Yeah, she's good plus.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you did good.
I did great.
So, but you guys do what you want. You do what you want. You find you a 10, wife her up. Let me know how it works out.
Man, we got into this hole right here.
It's a wormhole.
We're in a wormhole.
I said what I said.
You did. I actually asked you to explain it.
What
I thought you were gonna say is like a 10 doesn't exist, and these people you see on the internet don't exist. They're not 10s. I've seen girls on the internet put on makeup and look like a completely different person because they have like
those filters.
They're like art now. No, it's like art. They do like this thing where, like I actually saw. There's like this one lady on TikTok where she is a crackhead. I mean, she's a crackhead.
Yeah.
If she smiles, she's a crackhead. She'll sit and put makeup on and then like looks amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whoa, could you imagine? And then she pops these fake teeth in or whatever.
I've seen that video.
You go out to the club and you're drunk and you're like, I'm going home with this hot chick, and you go in the next morning, her makeup's smeared all over the pillow, and you wake up next to that, she's got the crack pipe in her mouth. Woo! Oh no!
That could happen. No, yeah. So you just thought I was going to say they just don't exist. I don't say they don't exist at all. I just think they're rare, like super rare.
We are on a slippery slope, my friend.
I don't feel like I'm on a slippery slope. Like I feel like this is a show where you take hot takes.
We do. Yeah, there's some hot takes.
Is it really a hot take though? I said you shouldn't date a guy that's a 10 either.
Can you give me a 10? Can you name a 10 that you know?
No, that I
can't.
Know?
Yeah.
Hell no.
I can't either.
You don't know one.
I don't know one. They don't exist.
They're on yachts.
It's like
they do exist.
It's like the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus.
More like not like the Easter Bunny.
Kids don't listen.
More like something that does exist. You just don't see a lot of. I don't know.
It's like a unicorn.
Yeah.
Because they're so majestic.
like a billionaire.
I just said a unicorn existed.
Do you know any billionaires?
No.
Of course you don't know any billionaires, but they do exist. It's the same.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
It's the same type of small, tiny club, and they kind of hang out together.
They kind of are in yachts that we can't get on or go into countries that we've never been to.
It's okay with me so I couldn't get a 10. I wouldn't want a 10. I wouldn't be able to keep up with them. I wouldn't be able to provide them what they need. I know that, so it wouldn't work for either of us.
Way a round trip back to, I'm fine with my life. I'm good. I don't need the fame. I don't need to sell my soul. I don't need any of that.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I mean, everyone wants more money.
We do need to go to. Hey, let me tell you, I forgot to say this. Have you ever watched Metalocalypse?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the one where they go sell their soul at the crossroads in Mississippi?
No.
Oh, it's called Blues Clock. It's the best one. It's my favorite.
Is that where Death Clock became?
No, they're already famous.
Okay.
So they go with this blues guy, and then like the blues devil shows up, and Murderface, the bass, is like, yeah, we want to sell our souls for like blues fame or whatever. And then the guy's like, you wish to sell your souls for blues fame? And he goes, hey, Fancy Pants, we're Death Clock. We're kind of famous already. And he's like, here's the contract. They give him the contract, and they're all like idiots, right?
Yeah.
Like all those guys in Death Clock are idiots. Until you hand them a contract, they're all like, they got their like glasses on, like, subsection C shows that the incorporation of the back handle of the whatever. Yeah, and they're like going through it. He's like, yeah, there's some murky lettering in this right here where we're gonna have to go back and rewrite this. But at the end, so like you get 10% on the back end and a $10 gift card for Hot Topic. And the devil goes, I'm gonna have to think on it and contact a notary. And Murderface goes, I'm a notary. I'm gonna think on it. And he gets in his car and drives.
What's the episode called?
It's Blues Clock.
Okay.
He's like, you boys got to learn the blues. That's why I said, how did the guy died hit by a train, because every single blues guy in that episode died by getting hit by a train. And he goes, Murder Tits Johnson got hit by a train right over there. As his head flew through the air, he wrote a murder train of blues. It's like it's like it's so over the
Murder
top
Train
hilarious.
Blues sounds like that's a badass song.
Murder
title.
Train
I can hear
Blues
Motorhead
sounds like
singing that.
badass.
Yeah, that's a great title.
Oh, well, that goes along with Metalocalypse. Everything they do is badass. Like it's like he's like, you know, if we sewn back together this guy, we'd probably sew him back together wrong. And they're like, whoa, that's a great song title. Sewn back together wrong.
That's like a Cannibal Corpse title.
Yeah. But so like they go to like we have to go.
It's only about 3 hours.
I'm there. I'm going. Let's go. We got to go. I might sell my soul for blues fame. Who knows?
Would you want blues fame? If you were going to sell your soul, what kind of fame would you want? Or would you rather fame or money? Money, right?
Money.
Fuck fame.
Because then you can do whatever you want.
I mean, fame's just a lot of headache.
Fame's headache because you got to constantly be on the pulse, and I don't want to be on the pulse. I don't give a shit.
But if what happens? So if you did get famous, you'd be able to deal with it.
Well, yeah, but I would look. There's a couple things about fame people don't know. You can be in the public eye, or you cannot.
Yeah.
You hire a publicist to like call everybody and tell you that you're eating somewhere tonight, so people show up when you're like an A-list celebrity or B-list.
That's what the Kardashians do. They're like we'll be at school drop off at 7:30.
It's all a
the
farce.
Lincoln Navigator.
You can have as much of your life in the public eye or not. Unless really things
I would
like
choose all the not.
You have like a publicist who goes, okay, this is happening in your life. I mean, like, how many actors that are the biggest actors in the world do you know, like, all the names of their children? The only reason you do is because they let that happen.
Yeah, and then
they can pay people off, and then when they mess up and do things like that, there's guidelines to all of this. There's guidelines.
There's now that you say that, and, you know, there's tons of famous people you don't know that they even have children.
Right.
Or who their girlfriend is.
Right.
Or where they live.
And you got Keanu Reeves, who just like gets on a subway and rides around. He doesn't give a shit. Like Keanu Reeves doesn't act famous.
Is he able? I figured he'd be too famous to get on a subway.
Dude, have you seen these videos where he's out in public just like trying to crank up his motorcycle and it won't start, and he's like, yeah, it's funny, I can't get my motorcycle started, and then he cranks it up and pulls off. Like he doesn't care.
That's how you have to be.
He got up in a thing and gave some lady his seat years ago. Like he was in a subway, he was sitting in the subway like this. And some lady gets on, and he like looked around. And he's like, "Oh, here you can sit here." And he got up and just like grabbed the rail. He's like a super normal dude.
Maynard from Tool. I mean, Tool's a massive band.
Tool's always been about being not knowing.
But you don't know
who they
know.
Dude, I listened to Tool for 5 years. Didn't even know what they looked like. But obviously, the internet wasn't.
I think any of those guys could walk around anywhere in Ruston and never get bothered.
Unless I was there, because I know.
Well, yeah, and
you're right.
I'm saying for the most part, they could walk around anywhere in the world and not really get bothered.
Oh, well, Danny Carey, he went to his alma mater and played drums during a football game, and then he got arrested at the airport. And they chained him up at the airport because he was drunk. He got drunk at the game, went to the airport, and then was kind of loud, and they called the police on him. They didn't even know who he was. And it's Danny Carey. He's like one of the greatest drummers of all time.
Did he get arrested?
Yeah, he got arrested.
Did he have to go to jail?
Yep. They like clinked him up, and he was like, man, could you not go hard on my hands? I'm a drummer in a band, you know. And he was like, and then he was drunk, so he was kind of like, do you know who I am? Yeah. You know, which is always embarrassing for people.
But I mean, if you were somebody,
it's Danny Carey, dude.
If I was Danny Carey, I think I'd say that too. If I'm being like, why am I being arrested for being drunk? Like, what are we doing here?
Drunk and a little disorderly in an airport. They're super serious about airports now. You can't
play around. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been every time I fly, I get drunk. It doesn't matter. Like, but I've never been like belligerent to get kicked off a plane or anything.
Yeah. So I know a lot of those celebrities do like set up every.
It's all set up.
Because you couldn't know where everybody was all the time. It's impossible.
Obviously, nobody kind of really cares. You have to sell it.
Yeah,
you got to sell it.
Right, because who cares? Nobody really cares that you're going to a T-ball game.
If you're, like, I know. And if you're going to eat at like a expensive sushi restaurant, your publicist calls TMZ and everybody, or you're coming in on a flight at LAX and your publicist calls TMZ to come mess with you.
Amber Heard will be at court at 9
And maybe even your publicist just handles all that. You're not telling your publicist to do that. That's just what a publicist does. And then next thing you know, you get off the flight and TMZ's like shouting like rude shit at you, so you blow up. So you're on TMZ, because any kind of publicity now is good publicity. It doesn't matter if it's
always been
you
the
being
case.
a shithead or not. It's just fine.
That's always been
you
the
just
case.
As long as eyeballs are glued to you, that's
As long as
it.
people are talking, it's great.
That's it.
That's why I like it. If people say good things, negative things about me, that's fine.
That's fine.
Well, whatever you're saying is good. Like,
Hey man, I'm gonna come at you positively. I'm a positive person, and if you got some shitty shit to say to me, it's like, okay, well, you don't really know me, or you do know me.
I like the
and
one guy-
I hope you feel better.
that one guy, he like came in on us, and I just started talking to him, and then like 3 comments later, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's so great that you guys do that." He's like becomes like my friend, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, man, I'm a nice guy. Like, I don't know why you're trying to snap." And he's like, I wasn't. I was like, "No, you're being a snarky little internet bitch," but like, it's okay.
Yeah. It happens. You get a little snarky on the internet. Then he was cool.
Because I'm not barking back. What am I gonna do? Fight you on the phone?
I'm gonna fight you on the phone. We're old school. If you say something real about me, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. Come see me.
Just come over here. But
it's not real on the internet.
But the internet, you can't hurt my feelings.
You
on the
can't
internet.
hurt my feelings if you say like that dude. He was like, "Oh, the 5 people that listen to this podcast," and I was like, You're listening. You're one of them." That was like, so.
I don't know.
I don't do this for people to watch it. I do it because I enjoy it. What if you did this? What if you bought a guitar, okay? And I don't know, 4 months later you weren't famous guitar player? What are you gonna do? Stop playing the guitar? No, you're gonna keep playing.
Well,
It's
here's the
same
thing. Everybody,
if you enjoy it,
everyone it's the same thing with like if you have a band and you post stuff. The only people that post stuff that like, so if you post stuff and you're in a band, you'll see comments. All the comments from musicians or artists like hell yeah or like or keep going. It's the guy with no profile, not doing shit, that comes in that's never played music in his life, that has no idea what's right or wrong.
Right.
He's got all the advice, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He's got all the things to say about, oh, how shitty you are. Don't ever do that again. Stop playing forever.
Right.
It's just how the internet is.
That's how it is.
So we'll see what happens.
That's fine. We'll just keep chugging along. I'm having a great time.
Yeah, it's fun. So I don't care if 5 people watch it, 500, but we're having fun, and this is episode 16. Getting close to 20. So
We have technical problems here and there.
I don't think anyone's
That's
noticed.
just how-
no one's watching it all the way through
That's how it
yet.
works. I think the last one we did, everything was in the left hand, the left speaker.
Yeah.
Just because I clicked something wrong in the beginning, but it's learning experience.
We're learning. It sounds a lot better now than it did 2 months ago.
Yeah, it does.
So, having fun. I've got to get up early in the morning, so we're going to call it today. And we'll see
man.
y'all. We'll do Sunday night. We'll do Sunday night.
Sunday night.
All right, man. See you then.
All right.